Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time you are tuning in, please do well to hit on the subscribe button and please turn on the notification bell. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys how to make this beautiful cowl neck bodycon dress. I achieved this using 2 yards of crepe fabric. So I'm going to show you how you can achieve this and have a better look. So you can see the neck area here. You can see how this came out very beautiful. So just in case you want yours to be very deep, I'm going to explain to you how you can get that during the course of this video. So guys, let's just get right into today's video, and if you haven't subscribed, please do well to hit on the subscribe button. To make this dress, you will need at least 2 to 2.5 yards of fabric. So the material I have here is called crepe, and this one here stretches very well. Okay, so I also have my pattern paper here folded into 2. I also went ahead to add some of it here, and I tape it down just to get the full length that I'm working with. So the first thing I'm going to do is to first go ahead and drop a line at the top of my paper here to serve as my starting line, or you can also call that the shoulder line. So from this shoulder line, I'm going to come down to my bust point, shoulder to bust point. So I'm going to mark it here, and I'm also going to mark shoulder to my waist line, and I'm also going to mark shoulder to my hip line. So once I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and connect all those lines. Next, I'm going to mark half of my shoulder measurements. Now, half of my shoulder measurements is 7.5. Now, because this is a bodycon dress, I'm going to mark 6.5. So I'm taking away 1 inch, and for my neck width, I used 4 inches. So I'm going to come down from this shoulder line by 1 inch, and I'll connect it back to my neck width just like this. So after connecting this, the next thing I'm going to do now is to get my neckline. So I'll be drafting out the back neckline first. I came down by 1.5 inches, and I'm just going to use my ruler here and connect a curve towards that point. So you're going to connect it this way, and once you're done with this, the next thing you're going to do now is to get your chest line. So I'm going to place my tape here and mark my chest line. Now my chest line is 8 inches, but I'm going to also mark this at 7 inches. Now I also went ahead to take away 1 inch. All right, so I'll just go ahead and connect a straight line just like so. Remember, this dress I'm trying to recreate is a bodycon dress. That way I won't be adding any allowances to it, because like I said, the material stretches very well. So from here, I'm going to get the midpoint of my armhole, and it's somewhere around here, and I'm just going to first connect the back armhole. So from the chest line, I'll mark my round bust divided by 4, which is somewhere around here, and I'll connect from this point now to meet that point. Next, I'm also going to get my front armhole. So from this point, I'll come in by ½ inch, and I'm going to connect it from the top here back to this area here. So I'm done, and on the bust line, I'm going to mark my round bust divided by 4. On the waistline, I'm going to mark my round waist divided by 4. So remember, this is a bodycon dress. Just like I told you guys, I won't be adding any stitching allowance to it. Now on the hip line, I'm going to mark my round hip divided by 4. So once I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and connect all those last points together. Once you're done connecting this, go ahead and smoothen these areas here, because you don't want it to be pointed. And along the armhole here, I'm just going to also smoothen this part. Now the measurement I have on my hip line, which is 11 inches, I'm going to take that 11 inches down to the full length of my dress. This is to enable me get a straight line across. After connecting this, the next thing is to go ahead and cut this out. Please take note, I won't be cutting the front armhole yet, and that is because we are going to be using this same pattern here to cut out both the back and the front. Alright, so I'll first cut out the back armhole and then trace out every other thing. After tracing out our pattern, I've also gone ahead to place this on my fabric, and I'm just making sure that I pinned all this area here so that when I'm cutting this out, it's going to stay perfectly. Alright, so you're going to pin all those areas here, and we are going to first cut out our back. Alright, so you're going to first cut out your back. Please take note of the part I'm going to be cutting out. I'm going to make sure to add ½ inch to the neck area, ½ inch to the shoulders, and ½ inch to the armhole. So once you're done cutting yours, just go ahead and remove your pins and your pattern. Now we are going to be using this same pattern now to cut out the front pieces. Okay, so I'm just going ahead to remove all my pins here, and I'll remove the back pieces and then bring out another fabric. But before we cut out the front, please take note of this part. I'm going to come up from the chest line by 1 inch. Now you can decide to make use of your chest line, is totally fine. So I'll connect a straight line just like this across, and after connecting that line, I'm going to now cut through this part. Please, before you cut through this part, please do well to cut out your front armhole. This is something I totally forgot to do. Like, I forgot to cut out my front armhole before cutting out this part. And when you are cutting, just make sure that you cut and leave at least ½ inch. Do not cut this totally, just cut and leave ½ inch so that you can be able to stretch this. And please cut out your armhole. This is something I forgot to do, so I'm going to go ahead and cut mine. But please don't make the same mistake. Cut out your armhole out, and then make sure you leave about ½ inch here so that you can be able to stretch this like this. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So now that I'm done connecting this, I'm going to bring my fabric and fold it into two, and I'm going to go ahead and place the front pattern on it. So go ahead and fold your fabric into two just like this. Once you've folded your fabric into two, go ahead and place your pattern paper on top of it this way. Just make sure that everything is equal. Just place your pattern this way, and you're going to go ahead and pin it down. So guys, for the armhole area, I'm just going to go ahead and then trace this out. Please take note of this so you don't make the same mistake that I made here. All right, so I'm just going to trace out my armhole area for the front just like this. Please trace yours out before you cut through. So after tracing this out, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my sellotape to just hold down this part here. So I'll use my sellotape to hold this down. If you don't have any idea on how to do this, please do what I said. Cut out your armhole first before you cut this through. I hope you understand. So I'll place it here and then try to see how I can just place my finger here and then stretch this out. Now the reason why you're stretching this out is to get your cowl effect, the cowl effect you saw from the beginning of this video on our neckline. So you just stretch it out this way. So I'll be using at least 7 inches. Now the more you stretch this, the more effect you have around the neck area. If you want yours to be very deep, you can go ahead and do maybe 10 inches or you can do 11 inches, but please don't go too deep. Okay, so I ended up using 7 inches. So I stretched mine and I just decided to use 7 inches. So I'm just going ahead to just trace this out, and I added ½ inch of stitching allowance to the neck area and the armhole area. So I'm just going to go ahead and trace this out. So for the back pieces, I'm going to cut out a facing for this, and I'll be using these leftover pieces here to cut out my facing for the back, and you're going to place them right side facing each other. All right, so you're going to place everything here right side facing each other just like this. So I'll bring my back pieces here and then try to make sure that this fabric is very stretchy and is difficult to work with. If you're a beginner, I will advise that you be very careful when you're working with fabric like this. Can you see what I'm trying to say? So the more I try to like straighten this, the more it tries to come down from where I was. So you just need to be very careful when you're working with crepe fabric like this. So I'm going to also pin this armhole area here. All right, I'll pin all these areas here so it doesn't move when I'm cutting this out. And you're going to see how I'm going to trace out this neck area. It's quite different from the ones I have showed you guys here on my channel. So this one here, I'm going to come down by about 1 inch below my armhole, 1 inch below my armhole. So, and every other thing, I'll just cut them out the same. So you can see what I'm doing here. You're going to come down 1 inch below your armhole, and you're going to now trace out every other thing. Let every other thing be equal, but please come down from your armhole by 1 inch. So once you're done tracing this out, you're just going to like go over to your sewing machine and then stitch them down. All right, so I'll turn this over here and cut away the excess fabric I have here. You can see how I'm trying to like control this fabric. Like I said, it is very stretchy and it's very difficult to work with, most especially as a beginner. So I'm just going to try my best to see how I can just cut away the excess fabric I have here. So once you're done cutting this out, you're going to go over to your sewing machine and stitch down these armhole areas, the neckline, and this way here, just like what you see me doing. And then you're going to go over and turn it to the right side. So whatever you did for the front, for the back pieces, you're also going to repeat same thing for the front. So I'm done stitching this, and I'm going to cut away the excess fabric I have around here, and then I'm also going to notch all those areas I stitch and then turn it to the right side and iron it out. So guys, I'm done and this is how it looks. I'll just try to bring out all these points here, and this is how the back looks. This is how it looks from inside, and I'm going to now bring the front. So I also did same thing for the front pieces. I cut out facing. So this is how the neck area for the front is going to be. All right, this is how it's going to be by the time we are done stitching this. So this is how it will look like. So I'm going to now place the back on it, right sides facing each other, and I'll go over to my sewing machine and stitch down the shoulder areas and of course stitch down the side. So this is how beautiful everything came out. This tutorial here is very simple and it's beginners friendly, like it's very detailed. This is how the neck area looks. So this is how you can get your cowl neckline, and you can see how everything came out very beautiful. Let me know in the comment section if you'll be trying this, and please let me know what you think about this in the comment section. If you are new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. Please do well to hit on the subscribe button. For my old subscribers, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for engaging on my videos. Sorry, thank you guys, and I love you guys so much. See you guys in my next video. Bye.